everyone, welcome back to Kaikebel channel, and today we are going to learn how to take accurate body measurements. Remember, taking the right and the accurate measurements is the foundation to a great and perfect fit. This video is for everyone. You don't have to be a fashion designer or a sewist for you to watch this video. Why am I saying this? Because if you're not a designer or a sewist, then you could be a potential client. Now, you may need to send your measurements to your designer who is not within your country or within your city. This means you have to send them the right and accurate measurements. So you really need to watch this video. Everyone, welcome, learn, and enjoy. Now guys, in this specific tutorial, I want us to look at four things. One, I'll be explaining the reasons as to why you're supposed to take the right and accurate body measurements. Secondly, I would want us to look at the tools that you need to take body measurements. I'll also take us through nine things that you're supposed to consider when taking body measurements. And finally, we are going to go through the process, the actual process of taking body measurements. Yes. Let's start with why, the reasons as to why you're supposed to take accurate measurements, or rather the right body measurements. So number one, you need your outfits to fit perfectly. You need to get that perfect fit. What does that mean? That means your outfits are neither too tight, neither too loose. Meaning it should feel right on your body. It should look great on your body and, flattering. Number two, why you should take the right measurements. It's actually to avoid wasting a lot of time during fittings, because if as a designer you took the wrong measurements, as a client you sent the wrong measurements to your tailor, your fashion designer, what happens during fitting is you will take a lot of time trying to adjust your dress, your outfit, trying to do a lot of adjustments, a lot of alterations. So the second reason that I have is to avoid wasting time, because you have to do a lot of, alterations, because you just took the wrong measurements, or rather, you did not take the right measurement. Another reason as to why we are supposed to have the right measurements is when you have the right body measurements, you will know, or rather, you will understand the amount of fabrics and materials to purchase for that specific outfit. So guys, I just gave you three reasons. These are not the only reasons, but three among other reasons as to why we are supposed to get the right and accurate body measurements. Onto the tools that you need to take your body measurements. Let me mention that these are very simple tools, or rather items, that almost everyone can access them. So the very first one, definitely a measuring tape, or rather a tape measure. Should be flexible so that it goes around the body parts. You will need a pen, of course, a piece of paper, or rather a notepad, where you can always note down, or rather record the measurements that you take. If you're a beginner, you may or not need a thread or a string to mark the body parts around them. You may need a friend to help you take your own body measurements, or if you have no one to help you take body measurements, then you can use a mirror. So in this specific video, we'll be using the mannequin, or rather the dummy, to help us illustrate how we actually take the body measurements. Now, let's talk about a few things that one should consider when taking body measurements. One, the posture. Make sure that your client or yourself, if you're taking your own measurements, make sure that you assume an upright position. That is, stand upright. Make sure that you're not bending. And that's why if you're taking your own measurements, make sure that you have a mirror to help you not bend and to help you read your tape. Secondly, try as much as you can that you put on fitted garments. Avoid bulky or over bulky clothing. Why? They may add an extra or even 2 extra inches to your body measurements. Number 3, I always advise that you take fitting measurements. Avoid taking loose, measurements. Just take fitting measurements. Then, as a designer, as a tailor, as you cut, as you sew, depending on the client's preference, depending on the design and the style, then you can always add the sewing allowances as you do the cutting and as you do the sewing. So please remember to take fitting measurements. And continue. Yeah.
Okay.
The fourth thing that you can consider, take as much measurements as you can. Why? Because sometimes you may have initial conversation with your client of maybe the type of design that you guys settled on. However, as you proceed, the client decides to change the design. Then it happens you did not take all the body measurements. So please take all the body measurements, take as much measurements as you can, regardless of the outfit that you have initially decided to make. This will help you in case both of you change the design, then you still have measurements for the designs that you've changed to. For example, initially, you both settled for an outfit that does not have sleeves. Then as you proceed, you decide to have an outfit that has sleeves. If you had not taken sleeve measurements, then it becomes a problem. So take as much measurements as you can. Another thing that you consider while taking body measurements, if this applies to a case where you're taking your client's measurements or your two of you, avoid talking, just concentrate. Remember, concentration is a game. Keep the rhythm if you can. So concentrate, because sometimes these are numbers. So if you keep talking and talking, you may record a different number from what you actually took. Try as much as you can to just concentrate, pay attention, don't talk too much, take measurements, record, so that you transfer the right measurements to your piece of paper. Always double check your measurements. I would say take each measurement at least twice. Also consider how you hold your tape, that is your measuring tape. Make sure that always your measuring tape reads from one. Do not forget and hold it from the other way, from the end. It's a common mistake that people make, because either way it will record some measurements. So consider how you hold it. Make sure you always hold your tape measure reading from 0, 0, 1, 2, that way. For example, if I hold my tape measure from 1, if I hold it correctly, I'll get some measurements. So I'll read 35. You see, I held it from 1, so I read 35. Also, if I hold it from, you see, from 79, that is 79, 80, it will also give me something, some measurements. You see what it gave me? 40. I'm holding it from 80, 79. It gives me a 45. So what happens? I'll still record 45 unknowingly, mistakenly, not considering how I held the measuring tape. So always make sure that it reads from 0, 1 and not the other way. Yes. Pause. Lastly, and not the least, still under how you hold your measuring tape, make sure it's on the same level, it's straight. Do not hold it asymmetrically. For example, if I hold it this way, it's on the same level around the bust. However, I may hold it this way. You see, at the back, you see, it's not on the same level. So make sure you hold it correctly. So far, we've looked at the reasons as to why you need to take right body measurements. We've looked at the tools. We've looked at things to consider. So I already feel that this video is too long. So we will do a part 2 of this, where we will show you the actual process of taking the body measurements. Guys, don't forget to subscribe and follow me back. Don't forget to watch my other videos. I've also taught on how to read a measuring tape, or rather a tape measure. Please go and check that video. I'll put the link below here. See you guys in the next video. Ta-da!